Hello, my name is JD Moreno, and welcome to my module. And today we're going to be focusing for my application presentation essay on Module 5. That module is Common Threads in COM Theories. Now, there's a lot of different sub-theories within this chapter, but the one I'm going to be focusing on is expectations. Now, expectations are what we expect to hear or see, and how will it affect our perception, interpretation, and response during an interaction. Now, our expectations as people are completely different, so each one of us has our own expectations of how interactions are going to be going. Today, specifically, I'm going to be going over two instances of expectations that have worked in my favor and, well, against me as well. So those two are going to be one in my work interactions at work, and then another in my personal interactions. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of my own input as to how technological communications are changing our expectations and how work expectations have led me to have a great career. So let's get into it. My first example is going to be work. So as you guys might have known in my introduction video, I'm an Apple Store employee. I work at the La Cantera Apple Store. So if you've seen me before, it's probably from there. I believe my professional life has so many crossovers with what we're learning here in class. Specifically, my job is a tech. So I've worked at the store for about 4.5 years. Now, while I've been there, I've worked as a product specialist, so I've sold items, and then towards my 2.5 year, I moved over to tech, where I fix phones and diagnose issues. So why does this have to do with expectations? So working for a big company like Apple, people come in with expectations of, I'm going to go in and get myself a free phone, or I'm going to go in and get my phone fixed. And sometimes expectations are a little bit false. For instance, Apple has the iPhone 10, and in a lot of our commercials we advertise the phone as being water resistant. Now, some people's expectations of water resistance are just that, waterproof, water resistance. It's almost like, which one is it? Well, if you do your research, you'll realize that iPhone 10 is not a waterproof phone, but rather water resistant. So you can be underwater for 30 minutes. After that, the seals will break on your phone. So what does this have to do with expectations? Going back to my life as a tech. So as a tech, I greet you. Hey, my name's JD. Nice to meet you. What can I do to help you today? A lot of the times people will come in and say, hey, I got water damage on my phone, but you advertise your phone as being waterproof. So we can see here that their expectation from either a prior advertisement or maybe one of their relatives telling them that the phone is waterproof is now playing into effect into the interaction I'm having. So this is where myself as a communicator or as a receiver of this message, I have to do a couple things in my head. I have to go, okay, first, this person obviously may not know correctly what water resistance is. However, I can't just go into the interaction and be like, you're wrong and this is not going to happen for you, because obviously at that point the interaction is going to be sour. So rather, what I do is I look at the interaction and I say, okay, the expectations from the customer are as follows. They are expecting a brand new replacement phone because of the liquid damage. So I have to somehow deliver the message while resetting those expectations of, hey, your phone is not waterproof. It's water resistant, and it may or may not cost $600 to replace. So we can see how expectations can change the way that entire interaction could go either great or wrong. And as a tech, I see this a lot. So if you have an iPhone 10, don't go underwater with it. But work life aside, I do want to give another example of expectations in communication comm theories. And that goes back to our social lives. So as college students, maybe a lot of you watching this video may or may not use dating apps on your phone like Tinder, OkCupid, or whatever. It really doesn't matter. But your expectations of the people that you meet on these apps change interactions entirely. So I'm going to go over some of the expectations of social dating and how they relate to the expectation chapter or the module that we're going over. So a lot of times on apps like Tinder and whatnot, you swipe right or you swipe left whether you like or don't like anybody. However, what justifies the like? What are the expectations you have of this person beforehand? Are you going in just to Netflix and chill? I don't know. Or are you going in with an expectation of a date? So that's what I'm saying, is that expectations completely change the way that we look and form interactions with people. In the online social dating age, it's super easy for these expectations to exceed reality. And what happens a lot of times is you'll see maybe someone match with you on Tinder, or you'll match with somebody on Tinder, and you might be expecting, I'm going to Netflix and chill, or I want a boyfriend out of this. And maybe the two expectations from both parties could lead to a difference in opinion. So when that meeting finally happens, well, each person, depending on how long they've talked, could have a completely different expectation of how the date is going to go, which could lead to either good dates, bad dates, or like in my case, terrible dates where you're like, I'm just trying to date, I'm not trying to Netflix and chill. But in conclusion, I do want to go ahead and say that chapter or module 5, common threads and comm theories, and the expectations and what they do. Again, just to reiterate, expectations are what we expect to hear or see and how it affects our perception, interpretation, and response during an interaction. So that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like him any more, be sure to, this is kind of weird, but subscribe to the YouTube channel or whatever. Anyways, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good rest of your evening.